Mafia!
Who is ready for the playoff run? We are at Eagles Talk on A2D Radio, and we're brought to you by Baggio's Bread, located in Mount Laurel, New Jersey, home of the best stuffed breads, tomato pies, sandwiches, cutlets, and meatballs. Make sure you mention A2D Radio for 10% off your in-store purchase. We are live. We're back. I'm back. It feels like forever since I've been on. Have had like issues with being sick last week. Then before that, it was my wife's birthday. Then of course the holiday came, and there's a bunch of stuff. But I'm back. I'm glad to be here with you guys. I've missed you guys. How you guys been since the last time I've seen you guys?
About the same.
About the same.
Yeah.
I've been great. Everything's good. Thanks.
Awesome, Les. Awesome. Good to hear. And then we got PY joining in just in the nick of time. What's going on, PY?
What's up? Finally healthy.
Yes, finally healthy. I don't know, but how about you? I know you're never healthy, but like,
no, I was like really, really sick in December. Like I was sick enough to where they sent me home on a Saturday.
Wow. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, but it's tough. It's that time of year always with sickness going around. I was sick the day after Christmas, and it just. Yeah, it's still lingering. I'm still coughing. So, like, oh, my God. Mm. But I'm back. I'm ready to go. And just in the nick of time for the playoffs. So we are going to get right to it. We have a lot to talk about. Let's dive into a little bit of talk from the Week 18 game, because I'm sure there's stuff that we want to get off our chest and we want to kind of address before we dive full in to the matchup against the Niners. But our poll question – I wanted to address this because I wanted to see where all you guys are at with the whole situation. But our poll question is, Sirianni made the right decision to sit most of the starters against the Commanders in Week 18. Agree or disagree? We are going to have, obviously, there's some hindsight is 2020 involved in this because the Lions won. So had the Eagles won that game, we would be the 2 seed. But I don't know. What do you guys think? Les, as always, we'll start with you as our guest of honor. Where are you with this whole thing?
Yeah, I don't love missing out on the 2 seed, but would I have played a bunch of guys just to do that, 2 versus 3? Probably not. Let me ask you this. If you saw that guy sit down on Calcaterra's leg yesterday, and him leave the game with ankle and leg injuries, would you like that for not to defend Dallas Goedert? I would not going into the playoffs, and you just can't guarantee that guys would have gotten. They had 3 guys hurt yesterday.
Yeah.
No, I wouldn't have done it. I hate that they didn't get that 2 seed. That would have been really nice. I really think they could have gotten it. I think some guys could have played better that were playing, particularly the corners. Could have at least handled themselves like professionals, like they'd seen football games before. But, I would not have done anything differently, I don't think. Although I wasn't expecting the Lions to beat the Bears, frankly.
Brinks, how about you? Let's go to you.
It's fine. He made the right choice. Probably one of the only intelligent comments from Nick Sirianni, a Nick Sirianni press conference, came after the game against the Commanders. And that's the only thing he could guarantee is that he got his team to the playoffs healthy. He could not guarantee that the Lions were going to beat the Bears, which they did. And I guess I understand that some fans out there have a sour taste in their mouth because the Lions did win. But it's going to be fine. Any one of these teams can win outside of the NFC South. Like, you can pretty much kind of flip a coin on all these NFC matchups. You have no idea how these seeds are going to play out. The Eagles hosted as the 2 seed last year, and they would have hosted as a 3 seed as well because the Lions were a wild card team. So the 2-3 thing didn't matter last year. I don't think it's going to matter this year. I don't know if we have playoff predictions on how this bracket is going to play out on the docket tonight, but I certainly have thoughts. But they're healthy. It's fine. Honestly, maybe the rest for the first stringers on offense, maybe a week away from football, is what they need to get cooking for the playoffs. Because if the ones went out there and played bad again and they lost anyway, then you got a whole cloud of doom over the team going into the playoffs. So sometimes less is more. And I think Nick Sirianni did the right thing.
PY.
Yeah, it was 100% the right decision. I understand, like, we wanted the 2 seed, and we wanted it last year. But, like, the difference between this year and last year is the backups got it done last year. Like, the play calling was atrocious. You know, they refused to run the ball when it mattered the most. The corners were atrocious. You know, like, these are all things that, like, played a big part in, like, why they didn't beat the Commanders. But, like, never once in my mind was, oh my God, I can't believe we didn't start these guys. Like, they're hurt. This is a hurt team. Like, you saw what could happen when your center and tackle aren't hurt, and you're able to actually effectively run the ball. Like, that's more important. I care more about getting Dickerson and getting Cam Jurgens healthy than I do about making the 2 seed. Because if I'm able to get those guys healthy and they're able to go out there and perform, I don't care about what seed I am. Because if I'm able to get Saquon going with whatever I have on this defense, which is top shelf, I can go very far in this playoffs. Because I don't need Jalen to go nuclear. I need him to play smart and not turn the ball over. And if I can, and the defense is going to give me top effort like they do every week. It's one of the best defenses in the NFL right now. And if I can get Saquon going, there's not a team in the NFL that can beat me. So I understand seeding is important to a lot of people. And I've seen a lot of people talk about, oh, it's not tough football. I said, guess what? The Lions play tough football. And in the last 2 years, because of how tough football they play, nobody on the roster is healthy. And they've talked themselves, or they've worked themselves out of deep playoff contention because of.
Yes, and if I can jump onto that point for a second, I don't know if you guys saw the thing on social media today from Ben Johnson from the Bears.
Loser mentality.
Some teams set their starters out. We play football. Well, remind me, how much did you win by with your starters yesterday?
I can't wait. Like, I like the Bears a lot.
To me, you look like a buffoon saying that. I mean, he's a great coach, but to say something like that when you played your starters and lost is ludicrous.
To add to that, the sitting your starters thing. We won the Super Bowl last year, but sitting our starters. So I mean, it worked. So I mean, it's a proven. It was hilarious. Because you can't. There's nothing like. I thought it was funny. I thought it was Ben Johnson again being just like a macho coach and like being very like hyped and everything
channeling
like that.
Which is Dan Campbell.
Which is fine. Like, get riled up, but like it's funny because there's no argument to back that up. Like on either way, like to Les's point and to our point, we won the Super Bowl. You guys are getting to the playoffs for the first time in how many years? So you go prove the playoff game. Yeah, go do something. But they've been playing well, so I don't have an issue. I don't have a big problem with it. I just I thought it was funny because it really has. There's no grounds to stand on.
Ben just has weird hills he's willing to die on. Like between that and like the tush push comments from earlier, it's like it's not really an explosive play. I don't really care much for it. When they're like one of the worst fourth down teams in the NFL, which is also funny.
So, I mean, he clearly knows what he's doing. He knows what he's doing.
He does.
Absolutely, he does. Yes. He's a great coach, as I said. Yes.
Yeah.
Sometimes coaches make silly comments to because they know their personnel. Like McVay, like he was like, okay, we were gonna rest, but we played like dog crap against the Falcons, so no one's resting after that. And they went out. And they got
that's something that makes a lot of sense.
seed.
Like that's a logical comment.
It is. Yes. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, it's one of those things. Like when you talk about like overall, I don't think there's. I think it just depends on the team, and it just depends on the coach. Like I don't think if I'm going to think back, to all the years I've watched football, from what I remember, there have been teams that rested and won the Super Bowl, and there have been teams that played all the way through and won the Super Bowl. I don't.
Well, you had until just recently. You had the two byes, which was golden, and that was important. I mean, the Eagles had to play 21 games last year to win that damn Super Bowl, and we've definitely felt the effects of that.
Yeah, I was about to add on to that, Les. Yeah, absolutely. So it's a lot of
those days, Les. I miss those days with the 6 teams and the double bye.
Yes.
I don't. Well, let's get into that after. Let me answer the poll question. Let me answer the poll question first. I think it was the right move. It's a lot of hindsight is 2020. And it sucks that we couldn't win, like you guys said, because we would be the 2 seed. So I get it, and it makes it even more frustrating the fact that like our backups absolutely could have won that game. Like the game was in hand. Like we absolutely could have won that game. So it makes it sting. But at the same time, I don't. Les, you just mentioned like how before. The top 2 seeds got a bye. If that was the case, still
that would be a big deal.
And the second seed got a bye.
They would have played the starters. Yeah, they would have played the starters for that.
100%. Yeah. I just don't think with the way it is now, I don't think even though there is probably a difference between the 2 and the 3 seed in terms of favorable matchups, absolutely. I don't think it's that drastic enough to warrant playing your starters. I just I know that the rebuttal we've seen constantly online from some people is that then why did they play Devontae? Well, like Devontae is one starter who had an incentive in his contract, and he was only like 44 yards away from getting it.
And he played
it was very attainable early in the game. And he got it early in the game and was immediately pulled.
Exactly.
That Smitty's situation and why he played is completely different than playing all of your starters who don't have like much to play for anyway. So like
he also takes a back seat a lot, and he doesn't really put himself first on this team. So like I have no problem giving him an opportunity. I saw a lot of people compare it to Barkley, and they're like, "Oh, if I'm Saquon, I'm pissed about what they did last year. If that's what Smitty did, if Saquon needed 40 yards, last year, like he would have played. What did he need? Like 110 or something?
Yeah, 100, over 100.
Like
that's ridiculous.
Needed 87 scrimmage yards for $250,000.
Yeah, that's still high.
Yeah, that's still like for rushing. That's still high. Like
at least half of the game and probably 3/4 of the game.
Yeah,
like unless he breaks off 2 big runs or something crazy, like it's not worth it. If Saquon last year needed like 40 yards rushing, they're letting him he's playing the first quarter. He's gonna get it, and then he's not playing the rest of the game.
Yeah,
but that wasn't that case. Like it's a silly comparison. Like this is something he could have got in the first quarter. It's similar to what he did his rookie year, where they force fed him the ball like 6 times and then he was out. Yeah,
exactly. So context is so important when you're talking about this stuff. So again, I didn't have a problem with it, and we face the Niners, guys. So like it is what it is, and I think that getting riled up. I think it's understandable to be frustrated over missing out on the 2 seed, but I think some of the reaction is just overblown. It's overreactionary, and it's not that big of a deal.
Also, if the Packers go out and surprise everyone and they beat the Bears, like we're having a different discussion next week, aren't we?
I don't think that would be that big of a surprise.
It wouldn't be a huge surprise. No, like I'd still favor the Bears, but like
Yes.
it's not out of the realm of possibility at all. For
Sure.
No, it's
They're
a divisional
it's a
rival.
divisional
You know,
matchup.
who knows? But that's really I don't think there's a gigantic difference between playing the 49ers and playing the Packers, given that the 49ers without Warner and Bosa, so on and so forth.
Their
But
other linebacker got hurt today too.
Yeah. But the difference is the next round and going on the road.
Mm-hmm.
I don't find Soldier Field like a really –
No.
I've been there a bunch of times with the Eagles, including one of the first Eagles games I covered was
we got good juju there.
When Hugh Douglas tossed Jim Miller down on his shoulder.
That was great.
That?
I do.
So it's, the Eagles can certainly win at Soldier Field, but you'd rather have that game at home, wouldn't you? And that if it all works out that way, and they lose in Chicago, then people are going to be, whoa, they should have tried to get the second seed. But we're a long way from that. They have to win this week. And
we need to beat the Niners first.
If you can't win this game at home,
gets a hurt Niners team with a team that does not run the ball
this year anyway. If you can't do this, so
and if we lose to the Niners or the Bears, it's not because we were the 3 seed as opposed to the 2 seed. It's because the offensive play calling is probably going to be really bad, or we'll beat ourselves. It's not because of one of those other reasons. So let's get into that matchup then. And if anyone else wants to still chime in to the poll question, it is. You can definitely still give us your thoughts. The poll question is: Sirianni made the right decision to sit most of the starters against the Commanders in Week 18. Agree or disagree? So let us know what you think. But enough of that, because we want to dive into this and give our thoughts on how this matchup between the Niners and the Eagles is going to go. I'm going to go around the horn like I usually do. Brinks, we'll start with you, and then we'll go to PY, then Les, and myself. Give me one key to the game that you are watching, one element, one aspect, whatever, to this game that you think is going to be very important, what you've got your eye on.
Number one, Jalen Hurts. He's got to play good. He's got to protect the football. He's going to have to – I have no confidence that these two idiots that run our offense from a coaching standpoint are going to put together a good game plan. Like, if this team goes to the Super Bowl, it's going to have nothing to do with schematic coaching-wise. It's going to be purely based on they have the most talent, I think, in the NFL, let alone the NFC. So Jalen is going to have to overcome bad coaching. Jalen is probably going to have to overcome some shoddy offensive line play at times. Robert Saleh is a good coach. I mean, he's been scheming without these guys all year, and here they are. So it's going to be all about Jalen. He's going to have to overcome, which he's paid to do, by the way, which no one really seems to mention. He's paid to overcome roster deficiencies like all these quarterbacks that make a lot of money do. Get it done. The games are over for Jalen. He hasn't had a great season, in my opinion. He's got to fix it now, and he's got to get it done. It's all about Jalen Hurts this week.
No.
PY.
So, I know what I'm getting in Jalen. I know that come playoff time, he's going to step up. The lights are never too bright for this guy. Like, Jalen always finds a way to make these moments matter most. So, someone I'm paying close attention, it's Saquon. Like, I'm not going to kill him for not having another 2,000-yard season. That's ridiculous. The O-line hasn't been great. I don't think he's played to the level we expected or we at least thought. So I think I need more from him. I understand the O-line hasn't given him exactly what we would have liked, but when the games are important, I need one of my top tier players. I need one of my X factors to take that next step when it comes to playoff time. I'm not saying I need 200 yards a game, 150, but when the holes are there, I need you to make that cut. I need you to find that burst. I need you to make the smart plays. I need you to show me what you were last season. Like I need that I need to be able to trust you again. Like I need to be able to feel confident. Wrong use of words. I'm sorry. I need to see the Saquon I saw last year in the playoffs. And I understand a lot of things have to go right for that to happen. But if you get that Saquon, if you get Saquon to be able to make those moves and get those runs going, the sky is the limit for this team.
Interesting. Les.
Yeah, I don't have a specific player like you guys did. I want to see the Eagles' offense function. I want to see them score. I want to see them keep the ball and keep it away from the 49ers' offense. 49ers have really good offense, excellent offense, productive offense, even though they don't have incredible weapons other than Christian McCaffrey and Kittle. But they don't have a good defense with those guys hurt that they have hurt. That hasn't been enough of a factor for the Eagles lately. They've played some bad defenses and not scored. And, that can't happen. They aren't going to win this game 13-12 like they did against Buffalo. Get out there, keep the ball out of the 49ers' hands, score points. Make it easy on your defense, or at least easier, And there's no reason why that shouldn't happen. There's just no good reason for it if it doesn't happen. They have an advantage there. I sure hope Lane Johnson coming back really gets the offensive line straightened out. I'm a little apprehensive about that, actually, because he hasn't played in so long now. I was kind of hoping maybe they would get him a series or two.
Yeah.
I mean, I know he's a long tenured veteran, but it's been a couple months since he played any football.
Yeah.
Throw him out there in a playoff game and not expect a false start or anything to happen is a lot, frankly.
Yeah.
But I want to see the offensive line get its ass in gear and make use of that rest that they were. I think Jordan Mailata was kind of campaigning for that. Not campaigning, but it was clear that he wanted that week of rest, and I want to see them look like a rested and tough unit, and I want to see the Eagles take charge of the game at home, as they should.
Yeah. Reed Blankenship also in the locker room yesterday, he had mentioned how he was one of the people that wanted rest too.
Yeah,
they wanted rest. So I
don't know of anybody that really didn't. I didn't hear anybody say, "Damn, I really wanted to go out there, and they wouldn't let me."
Yeah, no, I hear you. I'll give my answer to this, but I did want to rebuttal what the other two guys had said because it kind of surprises me a little bit. Brings says he's got his eye on Jalen Hurts. I think what PY said is just it's playoff time. Most of the time, Jalen Hurts shows up. So I know what I'm getting in Jalen Hurts. So I agree with PY on that. So he's not really what I am eyeing because I trust that he's going to show up. I also think that the comment of you pay these franchise quarterbacks to make up for roster deficiencies. This Eagles team doesn't have a roster deficiency. It has a schematic offensive play calling deficiency, and I don't care what quarterback you are, you're not going to overcome that to an extent. You have to have at least a threshold of competent offensive play calling to help these guys out. So I don't agree with that. PY goes ahead and kind of contradicts himself and says Saquon. Well, the same thing I said about Hurts kind of applies to Saquon. We've seen Saquon do what he's done, and all year I've kind of hinted at the fact that Saquon is still Saquon. He's still elite. So I don't understand this whole thing of I need you to be what we expected you to be. He's been what we expected him to be. The issue is there's no O-line blocking for him. And it's so I don't understand that logic either. So I'm a little surprised by saying Hurts and Saquon is the matchups that are key to here when I think they're given. I think those things are Saquon and Hurts are given for the most part. We know what we're getting for both of them. For me, the matchup that I'm eyeing down as one of the biggest keys to this game for the Eagles is our linebacker play and how they're going to be in coverage. I would take a long, hard look at the film of what the Seahawks did against the Niners last week or this past week and use that as, hey, we are going to do the same thing until you show us that you can't that you can move the ball with us. And what the Seahawks did was those second level defenders, especially linebackers, and then part of it is also their nickel cornerback, whether that have been Evan Wari or Witherspoon. What they did is they pretty much played with great depth and took away that cushion, that middle of the field. So whenever the Niners tried to pass or tried to call stuff with crossers or stuff that would target the middle of the field, those second level defenders got a lot of good depth and took away the first and second read for Purdy and made him check it down and hit short passes, and then they would rally to the ball. So I expect Vic to pretty much do the same thing. So these linebackers are going, like when you talk about, I don't know who's going to start, probably Nakobe Dean. So you've got Zach Bond, Nakobe Dean. They've got to be on their toes when it comes to coverage. And I know we have our concerns with Dean, so hopefully he doesn't, he can still make enough plays. But yeah, they're going to be crucial. And I don't mention Cooper DeJean because I know he's capable of doing that too. But yeah, those second level defenders in the middle of the field, that spine of the defense has to squeeze those middle of the field throws really well, and then continue to be a great pursuit and tackle team. We're one of the best. So that part of it is also expected. I think from that part of it, we keep forcing Purdy to check these balls down to the shallow, to the flat, to near the line of scrimmage, they're not going to have much room to breathe because we're very similar to the Seahawks in that regard when it comes to rallying to the ball and tackling and swarming the ball carrier. So that to me is the big one because the Niners don't have a great run game. All right. They don't have on the defensive side of the ball. We already mentioned how they're not that great on defense. They can be had. So the one thing you need to take away is their passing game. So if we're able to do that, the Niners are going to struggle mightily against us on either side of the ball. So yeah, I mean, the overall for the playoff run, the big question mark, the X factor is going to be the offensive play calling, 100%. And what kind of offense are we going to get? Because that's going to determine how far we make this run. But in this matchup specifically, I think it's taking away that passing game for the Niners. And McCaffrey, you've got our linebackers, they're going to be matched up against him a lot. They've got to be able to hold their own. So I don't know if anyone had anything to add. I know I'm the only one that mentioned defense, but bring some people.
I'll just add, since you're talking about the linebackers, Jihad played a lot yesterday. I didn't think he played great, frankly. He was standing and watching a lot. I know he hadn't played a lot lately before yesterday. He didn't look like the same guy that he was early in the season to me. He was much more back on his heels. Maybe it was the guys he was playing with. Yep. Maybe, he played defense as a unit. Maybe that was
a pretty bad unit yesterday, Les.
It was a horrible unit. We were talking about not playing starters, and I wouldn't do anything differently. But the one thing that I did see is I don't think you can play a secondary that's just spare parts and have them function at all. If you could play one starter back there and maybe had somebody that knew what the hell was going on, it might have been a little better. But yeah, I as far as Nakobe Dean, yeah, I'd play him because I didn't think Jihad looked like he was really ready to take a bigger load, frankly. I don't think sitting out all this time that he's sat out has helped him a lot. Maybe I'm wrong.
I mean, I don't think Kyle Shanahan is good. The reason I go offense is because Vic Fangio is a bigger given. Having the boys ready on defense in terms of Vic Fangio, that's a bigger given to me than anything this team is on offense. Nothing on this with this team is given on offense. It's two opposite teams. It's like Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. Kyle Shanahan and Brock Purdy, they scheme their way to great offensive performances with not a lot of talent, and the Eagles have all the talent in the world and struggle to get first downs. So that's why I go offense over defense. I have no doubt that Vic Fangio and the defense are going to do their part on Sunday afternoon. None.
I think that the reason I hear you on that, and I get that part. I think the reason why I still circle to the defense is because, like I said, the Niners really the one strength of their team is their passing offense. You take that away, like you that is priority number one is their passing offense. So that game plan has to be what I had said, because if you don't, like, as great as our defense is, if they have a bad game plan against the Niners, and I don't expect Vic to have a bad game plan, but if they were to have a bad game plan against the Niners, it's a game. Like, it's absolutely a game. And now you get into a spot where the pressure is on your offense. So you have to take away the one thing they do well. Like, what made Bill Belichick such a great coach all those years when he was with New England in that dynasty is he took whatever the offense was doing well, their greatest strength, and took it away. And that's the main key. And I'm not saying I'm shrugging aside the importance of the offense, because, like I said, overall, how well the offense performs is going to determine how far we make in this playoff run. But at the same time, if I'm focused on the offense, my main focus is on the play calling, not the players. That's why I kind of question like yours and PY's stance of like, oh, like we need to make sure Hurts and Saquon step up. I think they will. You know, I trust them. I don't trust the play calling. I would have thought
play calling yesterday was that certainly was in sharp focus yesterday.
Yep.
You know, down in the red zone, not even really in the red zone, but in when they had like 3rd and 1 and they couldn't, they were throwing it 30 yards downfield.
No tush push.
It was just it made it pretty clear to people, I think, that the play calling, the people who just wanted to blame Hurts for all of this.
How did it look?
The direction was horrible yesterday. It was just it was nonsensical. They went away from Bigsby in the 4th quarter.
Made no sense.
There's no sense.
What was he averaging, Chux? Like 6 yards a carry or something ridiculous?
Yeah.
Something like that.
It was 75 yards on like 16 carries or something like that. I don't have it in front of me, but yeah, they, you know, and that's just not the thing that really scares you is it's not going to get better. I mean, they're not going to suddenly, the light bulb's not going to click on with these guys, and they're not going to start, you know, they're going to have they're going to have to live with bad play calls and 3rd and 1s that turn into punts and and stuff like that. And somehow they're going to have to overcome it.
No, yeah, it's crazy. Like I don't have a lot of confidence in them to overcome, like in the coaching staff to like kind of flip a switch. At the same time, I'm not going to say it's impossible, because it's so weird that like we've had stretches, you know, specifically the Vikings game, the second Giants game, the who else did we face? You know,
The Raiders.
Like, I get they're all kind of, well, the Vikings are a really good defense. So like that's the one really, you know, proven unit. But like in terms of structurally, even if you're playing a bad defense, they still did a good job of relying on what was working and just sticking to it. Like that's all. Like that's the overarching issue, is that it's not that they can't find things that work. It's just that they find them, but then they go away from them. So can they stick with it for a full 60 minutes of football? That's the big question. We've seen them do it in certain games and certain stretches, but the fact that it's so inconsistent week in and week out, and you don't know what you're going to get is what makes it tough to trust. So I don't know. I don't know what kind of offensive play calling we're going to get. It is. I mean, it is what it is. I mean, anything else in terms of matchups? So I'm trying to think also like because like the Eagles overall. This is why I had no issues playing the Niners because matchup wise, we do match up well with them. I know we had this one comment. Let me get into it because YK says, Chucks, the Seahawks have a deep secondary room that allowed them to do that. We don't have that. Seattle ran dime for most of the game too. I understand like in terms of secondary and DBs, we're not as deep as the Seahawks. And I don't think any team is really because the Seahawks really have like that much depth in their secondary. But at the same time, if there's a team that can do similar things in terms of taking away that middle of the field, it's Eagles are one of them. You know, Texans are another one. So like I'm not saying that they'll match what the Seahawks did exactly and shut and then keep the Niners offense out of the end zone completely like the Seahawks did. What I'm saying is like you can have success doing similar things that they did and having that same approach. And
I don't think the Eagles can run dime pretty effectively.
Maybe not like majority like you know like the Seahawks did, but yeah, we can run dime. And I mean Michael Carter isn't a no one, and he played during the week. I don't know exactly how well he looked on film, but you know he did play against the Commanders, so he's got reps now under his belt.
He looked better than Ja'Cory Bennett and Keely Ringo. I'll tell you that
that's
much.
for sure. That's for sure. I mean, he plays the slot, so yeah. So I mean, like you could put Michael Carter in there for certain packages in dime because he plays the slot, so it's possible. You know, it's absolutely possible. Any other matchups that you guys are thinking, or any other key aspects that you want to touch on?
Well, I guess they're going to get Trent Williams back, which makes them, better. The rest of their offensive line doesn't really scare me much.
No, it's just Trent.
Defensively, they don't get sacks.
Nope.
They don't get turnovers.
Ryan Farrell, and I think Braceoff, they have like the most sacks with 4.
Yeah.
Yeah, with no Bosa, it's hard for them to get pressure.
Right.
So, yeah, I mean they're feisty. I think I forget where they rank in the red zone. So like they'll bend and then they'll put up a fight when it gets near the red area. So I get on that, but at the same time, it's like it's a totally different animal between the Seahawks offense and our offense. Where where the Seahawks offense, they have Sam Darnold and their running game has come on as of late, but like their passing attack doesn't have a ton of weapons that you can rely on. Like unlike us, like we have weapons everywhere. It's just a matter of and I think we all know this. Like as bad as he's been, the one area where Kevin Patullo shines is the red zone. So
it's the only area he shines.
Yeah, it's the only area where like he's actually been good. So I mean. We get into the red zone, I do still think it favors us. We had a comment that Avatar Singh says, Niners fan here. I know it's any given Sunday, but I don't think we have any chance. I'm not going to say no.
Sure, you have a chance.
Yeah, you have a chance.
They
absolutely.
shouldn't have
Eagles go home. You have a chance.
But they do because our offense is so bad.
Yes, exactly. Yes.
Exactly. Yeah. You don't know what you're going to get. You just don't know what you're going to get.
Nope.
Yeah.
It's so weird that the offense – I was thinking about this earlier today. Now that we're at the end of the regular season, I think about where we were in training camp, what we expected. I think we all expected it would be very, very tough to dominate the way they did last year and win the Super Bowl again and so on. But I think if we had a scenario for how it would go bad – it would involve injuries on offense and the defense not being as good as it was last year because of all the changes on defense. Well, the defense is every bit as good as it was last year. And there haven't been – Lane Johnson is the only real injury on offense that caused anybody to miss any time. I would never have picked this scenario in a million years.
Remember when we signed Saquon last? It was like, we're going to score 30 points a game. We're going to lace up the cleats, step off the bus, and score 30 points. We just need our defense to be middle of the pack. This was after the collapse.
Yeah.
Where the defense just fell apart and couldn't tackle anyone, and it was just open season for 4 quarters. Everywhere, like, just if we could just get that defense to be middle of the pack, we're set. And 2 years later, the defense has been carrying us for the most
2
part.
years later, you
And-
have to win games 10-7.
Yeah, and we can't even. We have to pray we can get 3 first downs and a half. We can't even get 16 yards and a half at Buffalo. Are you kidding me? Like, this game shouldn't be close on Sunday, but the
Nope, I
incompetence
agree.
of our head coach and our offensive
It'll be
coordinator
close.
are
Yeah.
going to make it close.
Yes.
Yeah. I understand. And it's frustrating. I know it's frustrating, but I mean, if they can figure it out, we
But
can.
Chux, if like you were the Texans and you had this great defense and all your resources were over there, and you had a pretty good quarterback in Stroud and an okay receiver in Nico Collins, and you're just kind of
he's
filling in the gaps with like Woody Marks, what a 5th round pick, 2 rookie receivers, like you're feeling good.
Yeah.
But the Eagles have all these resources on the offensive side of the ball, and they can't figure it out. And
Right.
I think the Texans might go further than the Eagles in these playoffs.
Yeah.
It's possible. I mean, I'm not disagreeing with anything you're saying. All I'm saying is, I still think there's a glimmer of hope because of what I said earlier. There have been stretches where they did figure it out, and that's what's maddening too. Is that if you figured it out before and you could do this for several games, why is it that you can't continue to do it? You know, that's what's frustrating. So
they haven't had a stretch of games. They haven't had a stretch of games in a row where
they've had. They haven't.
No, they haven't. They had a half against the Rams. They had a half against Tampa. They blew out the Raiders, which I don't count. They beat up on the Commanders pretty good.
We also Jalen Hurts had a perfect passer rating against the Vikings, who have a really good defense.
Right, that's one game. What did they do after the Vikings game? They had a bye week, and then they came out.
They blew out the Giants. They blew out the same Giants that steamrolled them on Thursday Night Football.
Yep.
Okay, if you want to say Giants, with Giants, Vikings, bye.
So now that's a 2-game stretch.
2-game stretch.
Yes.
So
that's
one
a 2-game
stretch for what I have
and
allocated
then
on the offensive side of the ball in 17 games.
And
then you come out of the bye when we think it's going to be fixed like it was last year, and it's abysmal in Green Bay. It's abysmal against the Lions. They had 3 good drives against the Cowboys. And
I don't disagree. I don't disagree with those.
It's so frustrating.
What I'm saying is we had that 2-game stretch, which is a stretch, okay, and then we had the Raiders, and then we had the Commanders the following week. That's another 2-game stretch where I'll say this again. Regardless of how bad of defenses they were, structurally in terms of what they were calling, they stuck to it, and they didn't deter from what was working. If they had, you can't nail them, you can't criticize them for not showing up against bad defenses, and then not give them credit for when they showed up against those bad defenses. Again, it's only 4 total games. It's only 4 total games. I get that. That's why I'm concerned too. But what I'm saying is, it's those 4 games showed examples of them, sticking to it. So the $1 million question now becomes, why couldn't they keep doing that against all the other teams? That's the
because of the bugs they'll call in the game. That's 100% why.
That's why again, and I think our end result is the same, Brinks. I think you're just I am considering a world where, okay, I think it is possible. But I think it wouldn't surprise me if this team was 1 and done and lost to the Niners this Sunday, but it also wouldn't surprise me if we repeat as champions. That's my whole point.
It would surprise me a little bit if they repeat as champions. I mean, I think they have to develop quite a bit over the next couple games to get back into that mode. I don't think they're close to that mode right now.
I think that with 2 things. One, and maybe this is me being lofty, I have put this Eagles defense now in that elite tier, where weeks before I hadn't. I needed to see it, but now past several weeks, I've seen this team absolutely dominate to where I'm like, this could be a special defense. Maybe not like the Texans, all right? So maybe not like the Texans, but you don't have to be you have enough on defense where the offense doesn't have to score 30 points. They don't have to score 24. If the offense scores 17 to 20, I do think that could be enough. And then the
I
second
don't
thing,
think you're going to get all the way through the Super Bowl at 17 to 20.
so
But maybe I'm
here,
wrong. It depends on who you play, maybe.
that's my point. So the second part of it is, if this was any other year where you usually have that tier of a
Runaway
few
teams.
elite teams, yeah, then absolutely I'd say no, I don't think we'll repeat. But I do not think this season there is a juggernaut in the NFL. I think any team, regardless of how much you favor them, can be had. Like,
Yep.
I don't think from 1 to 5
Yeah.
in the conference, I don't think is
I
that
agree
enough.
with that. Yeah, there's
That's
not
why
a
I think
team
there is
that
hope.
really like, oh my God, how are you going to beat them? Yeah.
Yeah, because like, okay, let's look at the AFC real quick, right? The one elite QB in there, Josh Allen. His team is flawed. All right. The number 1 seed, the Broncos. Bo Nix doesn't really like, he's inconsistent as ever. The Jaguars, who are probably the hottest team in the AFC right now, maybe in the NFL. How much do you trust that they're legit? What other teams are missing? Texans. We just talked about the Texans. Number 1 defense in the league. Do they have enough juice on offense? Chargers, no. Patriots, the probable MVP, Drake May. Is that whole team legit? I don't know. So go to NFC. The Rams, who I'd probably consider is the top team in the NFC, even though they're not the 1 seed. I think they're the most complete. Their special teams is horrible. And we've seen them be had.
You
Seahawks.
sure have. Yeah.
The Seahawks, the number 1 seed. Sam Darnold? Are we questioning that?
20 turnovers this season for Darnold. Yeah.
Yep. The Bears, they're young. They're inexperienced. How much do we trust that inexperience in the playoffs? So, like, it's just like there's no team where I'm like, yeah, the Eagles don't have that, don't really have enough to overcome them. I wouldn't say that I'd favor them in every matchup, but it's close. That's why I say what I say, where it wouldn't surprise me if they found a way to repeat, because the whole stage, like, it's up in the air. Like, both conferences, there's no juggernaut.
No team is taking the ball and run with it right now. Like,
Yeah.
every week that you think you have the team figured out, there's a new team the week after. Like, some teams are hot, some teams are the best teams, some teams are underwhelming. Like, we've seen this before. Like, just because you look like the best team does not mean you end up being the best team. Like, the playoffs determine that. Like, a lot of times it is the team that gets hot. A lot of times, maybe it's the team that you least suspect. Like, every once in a while you get those 07 Giants.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think teams develop during the playoffs. I think you have to improve every round.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And usually the Super Bowl winner is a team that is playing better than it did, before that. And I think that's true of the Eagles last year. If you look at their first 2 playoff games and then their last 2 playoff games, they really developed during the tournament, so to speak.
Yeah. I agree, and it's just like, and to that point, to continue, if you to continue that, it wouldn't surprise me if the Eagles repeat, but it also wouldn't surprise me to see some of these teams win the Super Bowl. That's how wide open it is, and that's what I'm saying. It's just like I people can think I'm crazy. I could see a scenario where the Seahawks win it. I could see a scenario where the Texans win it. I could see a scenario where the Jags win it, and that's what makes it kind of like up in the air. This whole thing is just that I don't know, but like, I wouldn't be surprised. Like, it's, you'd be surprised if we were in like middle of the season and someone told us what we know now, right? We'd be like, what? The Jaguars? No, like they're like so mediocre, but they're the hottest team in football right now. Who could have saw that coming?
Yeah.
So it's so wide open. So I don't know. I really, really, really don't know. That's why I think there is some hope for the Eagles moving forward. But I wouldn't consider them the favorite. And I think I checked. Brinks, you would know about this. I saw the Vegas odds for everyone. So I think it had the Seahawks 1, the Rams next, the Broncos are third.
You want the futures odds? I didn't look at that.
Yeah, I think Seahawks, Rams, Broncos, and then Eagles.
Yeah, I think that's right. I think Eagles are 4th. Yeah.
Eagles are 4th. So I wouldn't I wouldn't really disagree with that. Maybe there's another team I'd put a little higher, but I mean, I don't know. I think that's right around where I'd put them. Is like maybe fourth best odds. No, I can understand that. Absolutely.
I guess. I'm taking the AFC out of it until I have to worry about it. And honestly, I don't think the Eagles are going to have to worry about it, but maybe they will have to worry about it. I don't know. I think we better, as Eagles fans, on Saturday night at 8:00, I think we better lock into that game and hope the Bears win, because the Rams are going to smoke the Panthers. The only team in the whole dance that has no chance of doing anything is the Carolina Panthers.
Yeah.
They stink. They are going to get absolutely routed by the Rams. And the
I mean,
Rams,
they said the same thing about the Packers and the Cowboys a few years ago. I'm like, this is not happening.
okay, well, I mean, if you want to die on a Carolina Panthers,
I'm not willing to die on it, but like, it's the
right
playoffs.
You kind of are, because you interrupted me with just a nonsense take.
I mean, it's a logical take.
If it's not a logical take, the Carolina, I'll give $1,000 to your favorite charity, PY, if the Carolina Panthers beat the Rams on Saturday afternoon.
Woo!
$1,000. We're rolling. It's live. It's a real offer.
Don't put money where your mouth is.
Let's do it.
I'll do it. Live offer. It's on tape. I'll do it. Might have to be a payment plan, but I will do it.
Exactly. No, exactly. He's walking that back already. He's walking it back already.
I'm walking it back. $1,000 is $1,000. I'm not. You're not even have to be fucking worried about it. They're not going to win. They're going to beat the Rams.
Yeah, I think the Panthers
need to win. The Bears need to win on Saturday night, because if the Packers win, then you're going to have to play the Rams in the second round, and I don't think the Eagles got what it takes.
I disagree. But they have their number. They have the mental advantage.
Yeah, the Rams owe us one, and the Rams are better than us.
That's great. You have a mental edge.
That only works for so long.
Sure.
Just like A Christmas Story. Scott Farkas, it bullies Ralphie the whole movie, and then eventually Ralphie gets up off the mat.
I'm not scared about playing in LA.
I'm not scared of any of these. I'm not scared of any of these teams. You wouldn't even have to play in LA. They'd be coming here.
Yeah, if it came down to a game, it would be in Philly, because we're the 3 seed. The Rams are lower than us, so the Rams would come here. If I were to have to pick a favorite in that matchup, I would lean Rams too. I'm with Brinks. I would lean Rams over Eagles.
Depending on what
you might not go to Chicago and win, but that's not anything that's terrifying.
Yeah,
going to Chicago.
Yeah, I'm not. Listen,
because we owe them one, just like the Rams owe us one. We owe them one.
Yeah. I want to address this because I always see this online. I'm about to go on a random PY knows, and it's so he says, why scared of a team we always beat? I can't stand this. I constantly see this, unless I know you see it on Twitter too, of all these fans, and it's not just the Eagles fans, but all these fans always saying why would I be scared of this team? Why would we fear this team? It's not about fearing any team. There's no juggernaut. I just got off a rant saying there's no juggernaut team. But it's not about being scared of a team. It's about respecting them and knowing that, hey, they're a good team. So even though I say if it's a playoff game between the Rams and the Eagles, and I would slightly favor the Rams, that's not me saying I'm scared of the Rams. Right. Bring it on. That's me just saying they're probably the slightly better team and they'd have the edge.
And always be carrying a lot of load there. The Rams had a 26-7 lead in the third quarter this year. And the Eagles miraculously came back and won on a blocked field goal. The game in 2017 or whatever isn't going to make too much of a difference in this scenario. I don't know that. We'll see. The Rams defense hasn't played well lately. I'm not saying the Eagles can't beat the Rams, but I would not want to play the Rams in the second round.
I would rather go to Seattle for the NFC Championship than host the Rams in the NFC Championship.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's close. It's a good one. It's close for me because traveling, we've had such bad recent history in Seattle.
Yeah.
And so if you're traveling east to west coast and you're playing that defense, that's tough.
Well, I'm not saying it's going to be easy.
No,
I'd rather play Sam Darnold than Matthew Stafford.
No, I hear you. But that's why I'm saying
I can see that. Yeah.
it's close. It's really close. They're both. The Rams. There's a reason Vegas puts the Seahawks and the Rams as the top two teams. Odds wise, like they're. I don't like it when fans just ignore it. Like they're good. Why does it have to be a thing where we're scared of them just because we acknowledge that they're good teams? They're good, and it's kind of like contradictory because we've done most of the show just saying how the Eagles' offensive coaches and play calling can't get their foot out of their butts and how frustrating it is. But then they're going to go next minute and say, "Oh, there's no reason we shouldn't beat this team or that team."
Yeah.
Like, be consistent. Like, if we're that flawed, then yeah, there's a team that could beat us, and Seahawks and the Rams are two of the better teams.
The Eagles have a very good defense. You have to score close to 30 points to beat the Rams. I don't think I can say that about any other team in the NFC.
I think you'd have to score like 20 something. I think it would be in the 20s because the Rams will get theirs. The Rams will get theirs. The Rams would because they have Puka, who's elite. They have a good running tandem in Corum and Kyron. And Matt Stafford is he's the man.
Devontae Adams is also going.
Devontae Adams is also coming back. So they have weapons. So they'll even against the Rams against any top tier defense, they'll still get theirs. So you, as an offense, you're still gonna have to score 20 plus points. So absolutely, you're gonna have to put points on the board. But yeah, 100%. 4 or 5 minutes left. All right, let's give our predictions. You can give a score prediction if you want. You don't have to. You can give a prediction and say something you think is going to happen. But Brinks, you go first. Predictions for Eagles Niners.
It's going to be a 21-17 Eagles win. I don't think either team's going to blow each other out in this one.
No.
The Eagles are capable of it. The Eagles are capable of it, but they're not going to. We've seen this song and dance the whole season. They're going to let the Niners hang around, not score points, do mind-boggling things from a schematic point, offensive standpoint, and make this thing a game. Maybe I hope they win.
Yeah.
Really.
PY.
I think 24-14. I think they win. Okay. I think late score at the end to kind of just put a bow on everything. They're the better team. I think they're gonna dominate. Not as much as they should, because if you look at the Seattle game, Seattle won it handedly, even if the score didn't show it.
Les, prediction.
Boy, I wouldn't be shocked if the 49ers won, but I'm going to pick the Eagles. Right around what Brink said. I'll go 20-18, something like that. I don't think the Eagles are capable of scoring a lot of points right now. The only way they get back to the Super Bowl is if last year's offensive line suddenly shows up in the playoffs. And I guess that's possible, but I'm not counting on it. I think it'll be really tough. I think we'll have another quarter plus, and I hope it's not an entire half of just not being able to do anything offensively, which is the hallmark of this team. And, they'll have to just gut it out on talent. And I think they should be able to do that, but I don't have a lot of confidence that they will.
Maybe they've been saving all the good plays for the playoffs.
There you go.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe that's it.
Thought.
I'll go. I suck at score predictions.
Give it.
If I'm going to give a score, maybe 20-17, something like that. I think similar to what Les and Brink said. I think it's going to be close. But the one thing I will make a bold prediction on, I don't even know if you can say it's bold. I think Jake Elliott hits a clutch, either late game or game-winning field goal.
Yeah, I can see that.
Because
God help his soul if he misses.
If he misses, oh my God,
freak out.
But I think just call it my last bit of faith in Jake Elliott, especially after seeing these kickers struggle. Like the past few weeks, it's just like
last
okay,
night.
maybe like Jake is still like maybe there's something in there with Jake. I mean, Tyler Loop last night. Oh my God,
Like Tyler Loop, even Boswell. Boswell is as
and
solid
Boswell
as it
too.
gets.
Both of them. Like, so I'm just holding out hope that Jake still has one more clutch playoff stretch in him before
please
before he goes by. So like I still love you, Jake. Pull through with a great game. The comments giving some of their predictions. YK is taking the Eagles 21-17. Bill Middlebrook, no surprise, 34-16 Middlebrook. Middlebrook is also
34?
one of those fans. He's also one of those fans that I just got done describing where he'll complain about everything about the Eagles, but then come back and say like the Eagles will blow out the other team. Like it's so funny. Thanks, Bill. And Greg says Eagles 27, Niners 18. So
I'd be happy.
Yeah.
Weather-wise, Sunday, 53, cloudy, no precipitation. So no issues.
That's good to me.
It feels
no
like
issues for issues for Jake Elliott. No issues for the passing game. No issues. Period. It's not going to be the weather's fault. It's supposed to be warm all week.
When's the last time we had like a nice weather game in Philly? I feel like it's been months. I feel like it's like we've always been hit with bad weather.
The title game last year was like a balmy 55 against the Commanders. Nice.
I know that one. I know that one was good weather. I mean, like this season.
This season,
this season it feels like we've had like bad weather to like in Philly like all the time.
Wind or rain or something,
something, right? Maybe like or maybe Black Friday. Well, Black Friday was like that was freezing cold temperatures. And no, that was windy too. The Black Friday game against the Bears was windy. So
I was at the Lions game. It was the most miserable game I've ever been at.
Oh my God. I can't it's tangent, but like
weather-wise. I mean, the game sucked because nothing happened. The Eagles stunk, but they won.
Yeah.
But weather-wise, that was
I don't go. I know, Brinks, you still have your season tickets?
Well, my dad has them.
Your dad does, yeah. So
yes, I'll be in there. I'll be down there Sunday.
Yeah, so like I'm not someone who goes to games anymore. I kind of like I enjoy it more from the comfort of my own home. The extent of what I'll do is go out to a bar with a couple friends, but like I haven't done that in a while. But when it comes to even going to games, if I were to go to a game, I don't care if it's a playoff game. I could never ever go to an Eagles game in December or January. It's too cold. I can't like. And
we went to the Giants game last year.
I can't go to an Eagles game in September even. I am the type of person who does not like extreme weather. So September, it's still really, really hot from the summer.
You're in the wrong state.
And then December, January, it's like peak winter weather. I can't do it. I'm in the wrong state, PY. My perfect weather is like the weather you see in Cali. But the thing is, I'm not a West Coast guy. Like I love being on the East Coast, but I love the weather over in
Vermont.
I mean, when it's snowing out, it's sick. I was at the Rams game last year in the snow. That was the best game I've ever been to, and the best game I was at before that is
Try Iowa.
I can't stand snow games. Snow games are pretty looking, but they are the most stressful thing watching, and it's frustrating too because with weather games, it's never going to come down to talent or anything. It's like so much of it is luck. So it's like I can't stand snow games. So clear weather. I'm excited. I'm very happy. All right, guys, great stuff. For the chat, you guys were live all show, so thank you for keeping the chat alive and engaging with us. We've got Super Wild Card Weekend this upcoming or this weekend. Super Wild Card Weekend for the NFL. It's playoff time, and guys, cherish it. It's the last month of football. Cherish it. Every single game, cherish it and enjoy it. Regardless, I know it's going to suck if the Eagles lose at whatever point in this playoff, but just still enjoy it as a football fan. Also, if you want to get into more conversation about Wild Card Weekend, Pete and I will be on Film Don't Lie tomorrow to cover in depth all of the Wild Card Weekend matchups. So if you want to talk more football, catch us on Film Don't Lie. I haven't decided yet if we're going to go live late tomorrow night or if we're going to go pre-recorded and it'll release on Wednesday. But either way, check us out. Film Don't Lie tomorrow, me and Pete Evans, as we dive into the league as a whole. Thank you again also to our sponsor, Baggio's Bread, located in Mount Laurel, New Jersey. 10% off your purchase if you mention A2D Radio. And for myself, for Brinks, for PY, and our esteemed guest, Les Bowen, we thank you guys. Hey, it's go time, playoff time. Go Birds.
Go Birds.
Let's go. Peace out, guys.
Take care, guys.